Yet do I marvel by Countee Cullen. I doubt not God is good, well-meaning, kind, and did he stoop to quibble could tell why the little buried mole continues blind, why flesh that mirrors him must some day die, make plain the reason tortured Tantalus is baited by the fickle fruit, declare if merely brute caprice dooms Sisyphus to struggle up a never-ending stair. Inscrutable his ways are, and immune to catechism by a mind too strewn with petty cares to slightly understand what awful brain compels his awful hand. Yet do I marvel at this curious thing, to make a poet black and bid him sing. So this poem, I think, is about how he, goodness. Okay. Yet do I marvel, by Countee Cullen. I doubt not God is good, well-meaning, kind, and did he stoop to quibble could tell why the little buried mole continues blind. My goodness. Okay. Yet do I marvel, by Countee Cullen. I doubt not God is good, well-meaning, kind, and did he stoop to quibble could tell why the little buried mole continues blind, why flesh that mirrors him must some day die, make plain the reason tortured Tantalus is baited by the fickle fruit, declare if merely brute caprice dooms Sisyphus to struggle up a never-ending stair. Inscrutable his ways are, and immune to catechism by a mind too strewn with petty cares to slightly understand what awful brain compels his awful hand. Yet do I marvel at this curious thing, to make a poet black and bid him sing. So this poem is about Cullen believing that there is a good God, but he allows these awful things to happen, like letting a mole be blind, or how humans have to die soon, but he doesn't. Or he also refers to Greek mythology with Tantalus and Sisyphus. Tantalus is condemned to stand in a pool of water, but whenever he wants a drink, it disappears. And he has a tree branch hanging over him, but whenever he reaches for the fruit, the branch recedes. And Sisyphus has to roll a boulder up a mountain, but right as he reaches the top, the boulder rolls down, so Sisyphus has to go down and roll it back up again, but it's just a never-ending cycle, and he can never get it up the mountain. So these examples kind of talk about how God lets these people struggle, but also, so for 12 lines, he just goes on about how he lets people struggle and horrible things happen to people. But the last 2 lines, Cullen says, "Yet do I marvel at this curious thing, to make a poet black and bid him sing." So when Cullen wrote this, it was in the Harlem Renaissance, and African Americans were really struggling to prosper because a lot of people didn't think that they could do anything. But Cullen is proud that he's a black poet and that he doesn't feel shameful for his identity. And he's saying that, God can let all this suffering to happen, but he lets me be a black poet, and I can succeed, and I can let people hear my voice. And that's what I think this poem means.